Welcome to physics online session. In the previous class, we have discussed atomic spectra and Bohr's atomic model. Okay. In this class, we will discuss Bohr's theory of hydrogen atom, in which we will derive an expression for energy of an electron in the Bohr orbit. Okay. So before going to discuss and derive an expression for the energy of electron in the Bohr orbit, we recall the Bohr postulates, Bohr atomic model. Bohr in his atomic model gave three postulates. Okay, according to first postulate, electron revolves in the circular orbit. So, and these circular orbits are called stationary orbits. Okay, so according to first postulate, so electron revolves in the circular orbits. Okay, and these circular orbits are called stationary stationary or non-radiating orbits. Why? Because as long as electron revolves in these stationary orbits, they do not radiate energy. Okay, so this first postulate explains the stability of an atom. The second postulate, so according to second postulate tells us that the number of permitted orbits. According to both the second postulate, all the orbits are not allowed. Only those orbits are allowed for which the angular momentum is quantized. For example, let us take a nucleus. Okay, so and this is an atom. So and there are number of orbit. How many number of circular paths you can draw around the nucleus? You can draw infinite number of circular paths with a different radii, but you cannot find the electron in all the energy states. So all the orbits are not allowed. Only those orbits are allowed for which the angular momentum is quantized. Angular momentum of electron is quantized. Angular momentum of electron is mvr is equals to nh by 2 pi. The orbits only those orbits are allowed for which the angular momentum mvr equals to nh by 2 pi, where mvr is the angular momentum of electron and it must be equals to h by integral multiple of h by 2 pi. Okay, where n equals to 1, 2, 3, and so on. Okay, if n equals to for example, if mvr equals to 1.5 h by 2 pi or 2.5 h by 2 pi or 1.1 h by 2 pi, those orbits are not allowed. Okay, second postulate tells us the number of permitted orbits. Okay, third postulate tells us that what happens when electron jumps from one orbit to another orbit. First postulate tells us that as long as electron in the same energy state, it does not radiate energy. Third postulate tells us that what happens when electron jumps from one energy state to another energy state. So when electron in the ground state, when it absorbs energy, it goes to excited state. When electron in excited state, when it jumps to ground state, the energy will be emitted. So the absorption and emission of radiation takes place when electron make a transition from one energy state to another energy state. Okay, and the energy difference between the two levels from excited and to ground state is equals to the energy of emitted or absorbed radiation. Okay, E2 minus E1 equals to h nu, or EF minus EI is equals to h nu. Okay, these are the three important postulates of Bohr. Okay, and based on these postulates, we'll try to derive an expression for the energy of electron in the Bohr orbit. Okay, so now I'll derive that expression. So before going to derive the expression of Bohr electron in the Bohr orbit, so we have to find the radius and the velocity. Okay, next topic is Bohr's theory of hydrogen atom. Okay, so let us consider an electron is revolving in the circular orbit, sorry, circular orbit around the nucleus. Okay, so let us consider this is the nucleus. Try to draw the figure, and this is the orbit in which the electron is revolving. Okay, let Rn is the radius of the orbit in which electron is present, and let us consider the linear velocity of electron in that orbit is Vn. Okay, now I use Bohr's second postulate to derive an expression for radius, velocity, and energy. Okay, so according to Bohr's second postulate, mvr is equals to nh by 2 pi. So velocity in nth orbit can be represented as Vn Rn, and this, let it be equation number 1. Okay, now, so when a body is in a circular motion, so it requires centripetal force. If there is no centripetal force, what is centripetal force? The force which is towards the center is known as centripetal force. Okay, the necessary centripetal force for the circular motion is provided by the Coulombic force. Okay, so here Coulombic force is the attractive force between the nucleus and electron, that is a Coulombic force. Here, here yes, here Coulombic force, provides the necessary centripetal force. Okay, so F centripetal so is provided by F Coulombic. Okay, I'm equating those two. I'll write the next step here. F centripetal, general expression of centripetal force is mv square by r, and Coulombic force is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Actually, Q1, Q2. Q1 is a charge of the nucleus, Ze is a charge of the nucleus, and second charge is electron. I'm taking the magnitude of the charge only, not the signs. By square of the distance, Rn square. Velocity, Vn. Radius, Rn. Okay, so that implies, okay, here Rn got cancelled. So after simplifying this expression, what do you get? M Vn square. I'll do the cross multiplication. So mvn square r is equals to Ze square by 4 pi epsilon naught. Okay, so that implies, see here I want to multiply and divide with mrn on LHS. So what do you get? M square, you'll get m square Vn square Rn square. I have multiplied, so we got m square Vn square Rn square, and divide with m Rn is equals to what? Ze square by 4 pi epsilon naught. Okay. Now here I want to substitute the value of mvr here. So here it is mvrn whole square in place of from equation number 1. Let it be from equation number 1. So we mvr equals to nh by 2 pi. Okay. by substituting the value of MVR in the above equation, what do you get? So I'll write once again. MVRN is equals to NH by, sorry, NH, okay, NH by 2 pi, NH by 2 pi in the above equation. What do you get? Actually, VN. Do you get? N square H square by 4 pi square, okay, into already 1 by mRn is there, is equals to Ze square by 4 pi epsilon naught. Okay, so here 4 and 4 got cancelled, h, sorry, pi and pi also got cancelled. So what do you get? I need an expression for Rn. Okay, so it goes to RHS, and simplifying finally we'll get it as, so n square h square epsilon naught, n square h square epsilon naught divided by, and what are the values in Z pi m e square, Z pi m e square is a radius. Okay, and I will rewrite this expression as Rn is equals to h square epsilon naught by pi m e square into n square by z meters. This is a radius expression for general expression for a radius of electron in the nth orbit of any atom. This is a general expression. If you put a z equals to 1, you will get the radius of the hydrogen atom. This is a general expression of radius of electron in the Bohr orbit. Okay. Now, after substituting all the known values, where h is equals to Planck's constant, h is equals to 6.63 into 10 power of minus 34 joule second, and epsilon naught, permittivity of free space, epsilon naught is equals to 8.85 into 10 power of minus 12 coulomb square per Newton meter square, and the mass of electron m is equals to 9.1 into 10 power of minus 31 kg, and any other value pi equals to 3.14. After substituting all the known values, and E value equals to 1.6 into 10 power of minus 19 coulombs. So you will get the radius Rn as Rn is equals to 0.529 into 10 power of minus 10 into n square by z meters. Okay, simply we can write it as Rn is equals to 0.529 angstrom. 1 angstrom equals to 10 power minus 10 into n square by z, meters. Okay, right. For hydrogen atom, if you put z equals to 1, you will get the radius of hydrogen atom. When it is in the ground state, you put n equals to 1. Okay, this is a general expression of radius. Okay, and let us give the equation number 2. Give it as equation number 2. Let it be equation number 3, final equation. Next, I will find velocity. Next, I want to find out what is velocity. Velocity Vn equals to what? So in order to find velocity, I'm using Bohr's second postulate, that is from, so better to write here from actually from equation number 1. I'll take Bohr's second postulate. I gave it equation number. From equation number 1, we have mvr is equals to nh by 2 pi. Okay, here I want to substitute the value of Rn. So take a Vn common here. So Vn is equals to nh by 2 pi into 1 by mRn. Here nh by 2 pi into 1 by m into 1 by rn. So rn is equals to this one. So 1 by rn is equals to, what do you get? Uh, z pi m e square by n square h square epsilon naught. Okay, so after simplifying this expression, we'll get Vn is equals to, here NH, sorry, NH and NH got cancelled. This NH got cancelled. So what do you get? And pi and pi also got cancelled. And M also got cancelled. In the numerator, we'll get uh, as Z e square by 2 epsilon naught 1 n and 1 h, 2 epsilon naught n h. Okay, so it can be written as Vn is equals to e square by 2 epsilon naught h into z by n. Okay, meter by second, meter by, sorry, meter by second. This is, give it as equation number, next equation, equation number 4. Okay, right. It can be written as Vn is equals to, after substituting known value, E equals to 1.6 x Planck's constant epsilon naught 8.85 into 10 power minus 12. We will get it as 2.18 into 10 power of 6 meter per second into z by n. Okay, so this is the speed of electron in the Bohr orbit. So electron is having huge speeds, evolving with a very high speeds. Okay, and this is the velocity expression. Actually, I need to find the energy here. Therefore, next one is energy. Energy of electron in the Bohr orbit. In the Bohr orbit is given as, okay. Now, what is the expression of energy? It has two types of energies. The total energy of electron T is equals to sum of the kinetic and potential energies. When it has a velocity, so when electron is revolving with the velocity Vn, so velocity Vn, it possesses kinetic energy. When it is under attractive force, then it possesses attractive potential energy. So the total energy is the sum of kinetic energy and attractive potential energy. So where kinetic energy is equals to half mvn square, where 1 by 2 m into what is Vn? Vn is equals to, I'll take this expression, z square e power 4. I'm squaring the velocity, z square e power 4 by 4 epsilon naught square n square h square. Okay, so the final expression of kinetic energy is z square m e power 4 divided by 8 epsilon naught square n square h square. Let it be equation number 5. This is expression of kinetic energy. Now, what is a potential energy? Potential energy general expression is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 by r. Okay, here charge of the nucleus is Ze, charge of electron is E, and the radius is Rn. Okay, so it can be written as Ze square by 4 pi epsilon naught Rn. So we need to substitute the velocity of radius here. Therefore, potential energy is equals to, I'll write it as Ze square by 4 pi epsilon naught. So we'll write it as Actually, the expression of radius is n square h square epsilon naught. I will take mm, this expression n square h square epsilon naught by z pi m e square. Okay, I'm writing that value n square h square epsilon naught by z pi m e square. Since the force between the electron and nucleus is attractive, so it has attractive potential energy. Attraction is represented by negative symbol, so it is bounded. No, z z got cancelled. Uh, Actually, okay. Okay, actually, I wrote wrong. It is actually 1 divided by. It is 1 by r. Yes or no? So here it is 1 divided by n square h square epsilon naught by z pi m e square. It is z pi m e square. What do you get? Uh, z square. Uh, so pi got cancelled. Pi got cancelled. And okay, z square m e power 4 divided by, here we have 4 only, 4 epsilon naught square n square h square. This is expression of potential energy. Therefore, potential energy is equals to this one. This is a potential energy expression. Okay, let it be equation number 6. Therefore, therefore total energy is equals to sum of kinetic and potential energy. Kinetic energy is z square m e power 4 divided by 8 epsilon naught square n square h square, and potential energy is minus z square minus z square m e power 4 by 4 epsilon naught square n square h square. By simplifying this expression, we'll get the total energy. I'll represent the total energy of electron in the nth orbit as n. Okay, so is equals to z square m e power 4. It is 1 by 8. It is 1 minus 1 by 4. Finally, we get as minus z m is m e power 4 by 8 epsilon naught square n square h square. Okay, it can also be written as E n is equals to energy of electron in nth orbit is m minus m e power 4 by 8 epsilon naught square h square into z square by n, z square by n square, z square by n square. By substituting all the known values in the above expression, mass of electron, charge of electron, permittivity of free space, and Planck's constant, we will get the value as minus 13 in the electron volts, minus 13.6 electron volts into z square by n square, z square by n square. Okay, this is the energy of electron in the Bohr orbit. Okay, for hydrogen atom, for hydrogen atom, En is equals to what? Minus 13.6 electron volts, minus 13.6 by n square electron volts. Okay, so when electron in the ground state of hydrogen atom, n equals to 1, E1 equals to minus 13.6 electron volts. Okay, and when electron in the first excited state, n equals to 2, or second orbit, we'll get E2 as minus 3.4 electron volts. Okay, when it is in the third state, we'll get E3 as minus 1.5 electron volts. When it is in the fourth orbit, so by substituting the value of n square, we'll get minus 0.85 electron volts. When it is in the fifth state, the energy of electron is minus 0.5 electron volts. Okay, so the energy level diagram of I will draw the energy level diagram. Energy level diagram. Energy level diagram. Okay, so here I'm representing energies here. So here n equals to, sorry, I'll draw it neatly with red pen. Okay, this is uh, n equals to 1 state. It is a ground state, ground state of hydrogen atom. So what is the energy of electron in the ground state? Minus 13.6 electron volts. So E1 is equals to minus 13.6 electron volts. Okay, and E2 is equals to the second energy state. Okay, so right. So the second energy state, sorry, the second energy state. I'll remove this one. So E2 is equals to minus 3.4 electron volts. And third energy state, sorry, and third energy state E3 is equals to minus 1.5 electron volts. Next, the energy state, this is n equals to 2, n equals to 3, n equals to 4. Sorry, this is n equals to 3, 1.5, and this is minus 0. Sorry, minus 0.85 electron volts. And the next energy level is minus 0.5 electron volts. This is E4, and this is E5, and so on, and En. Okay, E infinity. Okay, so n equals to infinity. Okay, so and so on. Okay, so these are the energy level diagram. Okay, so the lowest energy state is called the ground state. Lowest energy state is the ground state. So the lifetime of ground state is infinity. Okay, so and the lifetime of these are called E2, E3, E4, and so on. En are called excited states. So and the lifetime of excited states, excited states is about 10 power of minus 8 seconds. Okay, if electron in the ground state when absorb energy, it goes to excited state. But how long it stay in that excited state? Only 10 power of minus 8 seconds. After 10 power of minus 8 seconds, so the electron so again return back to its original state. Okay, and what is mean by ionization energy? Ionization, so energy required to so remove electron from the an atom. Okay, so called ionization energy. Uh, if you provide for hydrogen ionization energy E equals to ionization energy equals to minus 13.6 electron volts. Okay, the energy of electron in the ground state is minus 13.6 electron volts. If you provide minus 13.6 electron volts to electron in the ground state, it becomes free. Okay, so energy required to free the electron from an atom is called ionization energy, or energy required to remove electron from an atom is called of a hydrogen atom is called ionization energy. For hydrogen is equals to minus 13.6 electron volts. Okay, so uh, what is excitation energy? Excitation, excitation energy. Energy required to excite an atom from ground state to excited state is known as excitation energy. What is the excitation? First excitation energy. What is the first excitation excitation energy? Okay. So when electron in the ground state when it goes to excited state, so what is energy required? So energy can be calculated by the energy difference between the two levels. E2 minus E1, nothing but minus 3.4 electron volts minus of minus 13.6 electron volts. Okay, so what do you get? E2 minus E1. E2 minus E1 is equals to here 13.6 plus 10.2 electron volts. Okay, this is the excitation in first excitation energy. And what is the excitation potential required? First excitation excitation potential excitation potential uh, E2 minus E1 is equals to, sorry, I need potential, yes, this is the energy. Excitation potential is equals to 10.2 volts. So electron volt is the energy and volt is the potential, excitation potential. Okay, this is about the Bohr's atomic model. Okay, so and what we have discussed, I used Bohr's second postulate to find the energy expression. So here the centripetal force provided by the Coulombic force. So by equating the energy expression, we got radius of electron. Okay, and by substituting the radius in the first both second postulate, we got expression for velocity. We got expression for velocity. So, but actually we need to find total energy of electron. Total energy is sum of the kinetic and potential energies. By substituting the values of kinetic and potential energies in the expression, we will get the total energy as minus mz square e power 4 by 8 epsilon naught square n square h square. The total energy we got it as negative. So negative sign represents electron is bounded. Okay, if we got if you get energy as negative positive, the electron is said to be unbounded. Okay, so this is about the Bohr's theory of hydrogen atom. Okay, and this is the energy level diagram. Okay, right, and the lowest energy state is called ground state, and the lifetime of ground state is infinity, and the lifetime of excited state is about 10 power of minus 8 second. And I'm introducing two more definitions here. What is ionization energy and what is the excitation energy? Ionization energy is nothing but energy required to uh, ionize, so an atom, nothing but to remove electron from an atom is called ionization energy. For a hydrogen atom, the ionization energy is minus 13.6 electron volts. And excitation energy is nothing but energy required to excite electron from one energy state to another energy state is called excitation energy. What is the first excitation energy? Energy required to excite an electron from ground state to first excited state is nothing but first excitation energy. It can be obtained by taking the difference between the two energy levels. So that is 10.2 electron volts, and the excitation potential is 10.2 volts. Okay. So this is about the Bohr's theory of hydrogen atom. In the next class, we will discuss spectrum of uh, spectral series, different spectral series. Okay.